and I just want to smoke. Fuck you. Light it up.
Alright, so I'm making this video because something has come up in the engine, failure on 1 and 4. There's zero compression. So what I've been doing now in these past couple of days is researching dart blocks. I mean, not really researching because I already know pretty much about them, but I was just really surfing for prices and shit like that on the internet. And we have a local machine shop here in Pasadena, Texas, Houston Engine Balancing, and they quoted me about $2,300 for the block, and to have all the freeze plugs and have it, make sure that the surface is flat. So he's probably gonna deck it just a little bit. Check the hones. Make sure he's gonna check the hones. He's gonna he's gonna make sure it's aligned, and he's gonna hone it for me. He said basically when I get the block that it'll be ready to slap on my heads and everything in there or whatever. But another thing is I'm gonna need to buy rotating assemblies, because if I buy the dart block, I was not trying to upgrade go bigger cubic inches. I didn't really want to get bigger. I just wanted a 302. I didn't want to bore it out. I just wanted it to be a dart block, something that's going to handle the power, and it's a 5.0, like a true 5.5 liter. So in the end, basically what I came up with is it's roughly going to cost me somewhere in the range between $4,300 to have it all, the machine block and everything, and then order the and have he's also going to install the cam bearings for that price. And I'm going to have the rotating assembly. I want it to match the block. So I want it, if the block is rated for 1,000 horsepower, even though it's rated for 600 on the website, but it's not really, it's more, then I want a rotating assembly that can handle just as much, because I don't want to put a stock ass rotating assembly in it. It doesn't make no sense. You have like a $2,000 block with the internals. Well, I guess it's kind of like this right now. Is I got almost $2,000 heads on a stock block. But what my purpose was of doing that was buying the components that I was gonna need, so that when I do go a dart block, that it's gonna be it's already gonna be built. Like, I mean, I'm just gonna have to slap my heads on it and my cam in there and shit. My intake manifold, but not this one, because this is a pro comp, and I got this in a trade because I was desperate. So I traded a Trick Flow R series lower for an EFI setup for this, and I kick myself in the ass every time every time I look at it. So, and I was also saying, because of this failure, I should have never bought the EFI Sniper. Even though I'm happy I have it, I would rather have this. I would have rather had that $1,000 for to throw it at that, which I would have already had the bottom end built with what I've spent on trying to do other things, instead of trying to focus on this. And one day it was funny, because one day I was trying to align the distributor to number 1, right, so that I can get it in timing and shit. And I put my finger in the spark plug hole in the head, and I couldn't feel no compression. And I thought it was because of the fact that I was doing it by hand. But even if you're doing it by hand, and if you plug up that hole, it's supposed to build some compression, and it did not. And I didn't question it, which I should have. So now we're here. So I'm trying to figure out why these 1 and 4 don't have compression. Should I go dart block? I'm gonna do a 302, but I've always wanted a 5.4 331 stroker. I'm kind of stuck in between, because my emotions are all over the place with this car at the moment. I was with that money, I was gonna build the rear end, so I was gonna give me a better differential. I was gonna upgrade the axles, not to 5 lug, but stay 4 lug. I want to stay 4 lug. just, you know, something stronger. And then I was going to do the drive shaft. And then from there, I was going to build the transmission with G-force gears. They have a T5 G-force gear. And it's not a straight cut gear. It's like a thicker helical style gear, but it doesn't have as much angle, only because of the fact that it's more streetable. And they had something to do with downshifting, because the straight cut gears would kind of like, it would act almost as if the synchronizers were kind of flattened out, like usually when you bang it in. So it would kind of hit going in, and it was kind of hard for people downshifting, or it wasn't as smooth as they would have wanted it to be for that price. But in the end, those transmission gears, the straight cut ones, they're meant for banging the gear in that bitch. You gotta get that bitch, get that bitch in there, man. Fuck. So anyways, they have a helical style gear with less angle, so it's a little bit straighter than a stock style, but it's thicker, and it's quieter than a helical style, but you know, almost just as strong. And that's what I was gonna go with. I was gonna build from here back, the transmission back. I was actually gonna go this way because I already had this setup running. And so basically now with this setup, they lost compression. And I know exactly why I lost compression. Is because of the fact that I did not use a ball hone. I used the hone. It was like a three bar hone is what I would say. It was like 3 bars of I guess just rough sanding block. And I used that, and they were chipping and stuff, and it just wasn't good. You know, it was from Harbor Freight. I had to go back and get like 2 of them because it kept falling apart. But on these two, I have 150. So on 2 and 3, it's got 150 psi of pressure, whatever, and then a compression. And then on this end, you have, I think it was 150 up here, and then the rest were 180. So that side was perfect, all compression. This side, these two got compression, but this one doesn't. So I don't know if it was, I mean, I'm pretty sure if that's the reason. If the reason why is because of the cylinders, is because of the tool that I got. So what I'm gonna end up doing right now is go ahead and just tear this bitch apart. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull off the Holley Sniper, which unfortunately I have to do right after putting it on it, and then pull this Chinese intake off there. Probably not gonna slap that back on ever again. I'm probably just gonna sell it, and go ahead and pull the distributor out, pull the valve covers off, and I also got to drain the coolant, because it's got coolant now and all that. You know, I didn't have coolant before. Even when I first started it, when I dry fired it, it was dry inside. Not the oil, but the antifreeze. So I got to do all that, pull it off, and then you can already see the compression tester over there. So I'm just trying to figure out if it's something that's got to do with valve train, or I don't know. I'm still kind of, down about it, because I just found this out like a couple days ago, but I'm just really making the video now because now I have the time to do it. So that's kind of what's going on right now. 1 and 4, no compression. Dart block, should I do it? And if I do, 331, but I don't know, because the shorter stroke and the less material you have to take off the block essentially means that it's going to be a stronger block. There's going to be less rotating stroke and rotating, I guess, mass, in the sense that it would last longer. And that guy Chris Watson, he's got that 9-second stock bottom end 302, so he hasn't even popped off the rod caps or none of that shit. It's just like it was when it came out the factory. So that's pretty much mind blowing. But everybody else blowing their shit at 500, so he's doing something right. But that's kind of where I'm at right now, guys. But thank you for watching.